At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI Net goes beyond industry standards, not only i3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
Rapid Deploy believes that every public safety agency, regardless of size, should have access to the data they need when it matters most. That's why, since 2016, our mission has been to reduce emergency response times and improve public safety. We are the industry's only integrated emergency response platform. Our web-based cloud platform includes analytics, mapping, dispatch, and mobile apps, purpose-built for 911 in the 21st century. Visit www.rapiddeploy.com to learn how we enable effective, efficient, data-driven emergency response.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Welcome to Within the Trenches, true stories from the 911 dispatchers who live them.
Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and this is going to be episode 367 of Within the Trenches, true stories from the 911 dispatchers who live them. This episode is sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy, and man, I am finally caught up. I had so many episodes that were just waiting to go up, and they're just going and going and going, and this is going to be current. So that'll be good, because I think the last episode I was saying this should be after the new year or something like that, and here we are. So this is going to be good. I'm very excited for my guest. It has been a while. Before we get to him, really quick, just want to make sure to thank all the patrons for everything. Thank you so very much. And make sure to check out the conference. The conference is going on right now, Be the Difference 2021. You can still register now to attend live for the sessions that are going on, or you can end up watching it on demand later on your time. That is the beauty of these virtual conferences. So like I said, the conference is going on right now, and make sure to check it out. There are some amazing speakers. As this is posting up, this is going live actually in the middle of the conference as it's going on. We are probably in the middle of sessions and everything. And either way, checking this out, you can go there, register. It's okay. This episode is going to be there forever. Also, just like all of those sessions. So make sure to check it out. Go to deniseamberlee.org and click on the button for the Be the Difference conference. Register, attend live, or watch on your time on demand. So we're about to get started here. And like I said, I am thoroughly excited. And my guest today, welcome back, brother. And it is Rob Big Mac McMullen. And here he is. Oh, dude, that is so amazing.
It's awesome. I guess I should have picked a different shirt to wear today, but I wasn't thinking about that, and I didn't think about the whole green screen thing. But this is fucking epic. I mean, it's pretty cool. So
so good, man. Welcome back.
I feel like the Thing from Fantastic Four.
That's right.
So it's kind of cool. So.
Or, one of the villain robots from the 80s video game, Mega Man. You're like Brickman.
Yes, I could just go Brickman. Or if I want to change it up a little bit, we're going to be, here, look, I'm Living Room Man. So now I am a couch. And
yeah, dude.
oh look. So I have the whole freaking. I got a love seat over
Look
here.
at that. That's
and,
nice.
And all that stuff, and a nice fireplace. I can get
like
cold.
It.
So
yeah, that's really good. What do you have there? Do you have like some pine cones in a bowl?
yeah, I guess it is. I wish I could get probably a. Well, I'm gonna move. So it looks like.
What's funny is it looked like you were going to turn around to look.
Oh, what is this? I can't grab. Oh, hold on. I can. Looks like a coffee mug.
Oh
yes.
Yeah, look at that. That is interesting. For those who are listening right now,
I guess that's like the worst thing of podcasts. It's like, they're talking about shit
listening.
That can't see.
All of this, and those who are watching on video, this works for you. But those who are listening right now on your favorite podcast platform, my homeboy here, Rob, has this zip up, and it is like a neon green almost, and so he's using the feature for the green screen, and all you can see is his body is just bricks.
Yeah,
before it was a living room.
Yeah, so like I said, I feel like Thing from Fantastic Four. So,
but anyway, amazing.
Yes,
welcome back, dude. It's been a while.
It's been forever. You go and get real popular, and you forget all your people.
Whatever.
I mean, so. It's like been almost a year since I've even seen you, because last time I saw you when we were at 91 Goes to Washington last year.
That's right.
In front of the hotel when, we got shot up and everything, and that dude got smoked in front of the hotel. So
right. Yeah. That was the craziest thing. So we were at that conference. 91 Goes to Washington. It's every February, and we were there. This was before everything went to hell.
Yeah. It was like right before everything went to hell, and everything was canceled. So
right. And so what I remember from that day, so I ended up having dinner with you and a friend of yours, and we were there, and then I don't think it was the same
were
day.
The fucking bomb, man.
Yeah, they were. And I was fighting it too. I was try not to eat any gluten or dairy or anything, but I tried it, and they were so good.
Those were the best. We were talking about that the other day, actually.
So I don't think it was the same day.
No, it wasn't. I think it was the next day, because we went to the White House, and you went to Sessions and stuff. But
I went to Sessions. I think I had just come back from doing an episode with Karima Holmes.
Yeah.
And some of her people there. And I get back, and I did a live broadcast from the lobby of the hotel. And as soon as I finished it, I got up, and I walked to the little shop that they had there, and I got a water, and I'm walking, just nonchalant, walking to the elevator, and people are hauling ass by me.
Yeah.
Now, usually I run when I see other people run, because I'm not going to ask questions. However, this time I didn't. The reason I didn't is because I saw that the doors were opening to the elevator, and then they were going to start to close. So I thought, those people are just running to get to the elevator. I'm not that in a hurry. and they get in, and I saw that the people that were getting out, which one of them was a buddy of mine out of Alabama, he and some people are getting out, and those people are rushing in, and they said something, and the look on his face, he whipped around, and they got in, and they hit the button, and I'm like, no.
Yeah,
because I thought, what is going on? And the door's shut, so I'm hitting the button, waiting, and then there were other people that were rushing up the stairs already, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna get dropped down or trampled over. Right. So then I thought, well, I don't know what they're running from.
Yeah, we just walked back. We're like, do when there's like, all the ambulances and police cars and everything. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And then see somebody was in handcuffs on the back of the car, and they were attending somebody. I'm like, just walking. It's like, oh, somebody got shot. And so like, well, hell, I'm going to stand aside. I'm like a dumbass. I'm going to stand on the side of the road and look at shit. So there were shell casings on the road, and they had the detectives out. It was like epic. So then they saw that dude had shot another guy down by one of the museums and took off, fled. It's like shit, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy. What was funny is when I left from the dispatch center, I remember saying I said something to Karima, I forgot, and she goes, "Oh, you're gonna make things go crazy," and I was like, "Oh, no, and
No,
then I
not
left, and then
me.
that happened. I thought,
Oh shit!
yeah,
Oh shit!
but
It is
I.
true.
I remember getting into the elevator and starting to go up. There was this elderly couple in there, and a couple other girls that were in there with me. And that couple, the elderly couple, the wife, she goes, "It was the craziest thing." She goes, "We're standing outside, and it's just pop, pop, pop," and we started running. And I was like, I was like, "Holy crap, you were that close!" And she goes, "We were right there,
And
right there."
it's not like that's a bad part of town either. I mean, that's pretty pretty nice part of town. It's like, yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna run and get shot at.
yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then I remember that, the conference that was going on a little bit after that was going on. um they end up sending a message out, and they're like, "Make sure to come for snacks, like it's still
Yeah,
okay."
it's like, snacks or what's going on the road. So yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty funny.
from my room looking down was the alley where they were all set up and had taped
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
So I was just kind of sitting there thinking, what?
man,
This is
it was
not what I expected.
all night too, man. They were out there all night long.
So that's the last time that we had any in-person
Yeah,
interaction and stuff. We've just been texting here and
yep,
there. During that time, a lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff has changed. You made a transition from one center to another center, and you are the newly appointed director of Knox County out of Indiana, correct?
yep. I've been the interim director since August of 19. I've been that, but then Tuesday they actually decided to make me full time and the guy to go to here. I just the way it worked out, we was keeping the interim thing while I was working on some things, and they decided to go ahead and offer it to me full time. So
That's awesome, dude.
yeah,
So there's
I'm
how
excited.
how did that transition work for you? I mean, there's, kind of getting on the serious side here just for a little bit, because we know both of us.
Yeah, exactly.
How was that transition for you? Because there were some, there were a lot of times, that you were going through. Like, we had a lot of conversations and stuff, but it was hard,
Yeah,
getting
definitely.
through, and especially in, you've got that interim time that's going on. But so what was this transition like?
They brought me down here to kind of straighten up their center and get things worked out. It was kind of in kind of not in the best of shape down here. They were way behind times and just needed
Hmm.
updated. So they wanted to bring me down here to get things worked out. Um, and I tell you, it's been a ride. They went from a not a very good relationship with other aspects of public safety down here to where we've fixed that, and we've got a good working relationship with police and fire and other agencies down here now. Brought them up into the 21st century and kind of added some new tech down here, which they when I come in, the state of Indiana pays for all of our texty and the texting to 911. When I come in, they did never use text to 911. They had it, but they didn't use it. They I think when the stats for 2019 was maybe that they had zero text to 911, but and only maybe three or four from 911, to where I think this last year we're over 300 from 911 or two, yeah, from 911, like maybe 25 to 911. So we're
Hmm.
getting that added smart 911 and alert, rave alert, and rapid SOS integration. Upgraded schedule software, or added schedule software, added a training software with using Virtual Academy. Just signed a contract last week with Agency 360 to work on our training and all that good stuff. So we're really adding additional, make it easier for the dispatchers and just things to go here. We're a small center. I've only got 12 full time employees. So in my previous center, I had 25.
Mhm.
And we're only about 34 to 35,000 calls for service a year, and the past one was over 100,000 calls for service. So, but it's nice. Everybody here is really cool. They've got a good group of people. They know their job and they know what they want to do, and it's nice because I can come in and they've not had that type of stuff, and been able to let them do things that they've never had been able to do before.
That's
So they
awesome.
appreciate that.
Now, I'm thinking about that transition and all. For those who are watching, listening, whether they be someone who is in the chair or someone out in the public, how what types of benefits, I guess, has there been, or is there rather, for the technology that was there when you first got there and the technology that's there now?
Oh my God. There, I'll just say there was no technology when I got here.
Mhm.
Yes, they basically was just just a normal, just every day they just did things on their own, and kind of there was no tech. I mean, they had the CAD records management, but it was tied to the sheriff's office. Their phone system, and that was about all they had. So coming in here with allowing them tech and giving them, it's blown their mind, because now they're like, wow, they didn't understand how they could get by without it before. So, but it's been they've taken it. When I first come in, I told them we're gonna be crawling before we're running. Because it's a lot of different things, but they've all taken it with strides. And we've got the young folks, and we got the folks that have been here multiple 15 years plus, that aren't always so adapt to change, but they're taking it with stride, and moving forward. So it's really good.
No, it sounds like you also kind of unified the public safety services, because there are some centers out there that you've got your dispatch center, right? But they don't mesh well for whatever reason. I'll put it this way: the others don't mesh well with dispatch.
Right.
Everyone's trying to run it their own way, but there is a way to bring everyone together, because I mean, it's only going to be for their own good, right? For
Yeah.
everyone involved, public safety as well as those that are out there in the public. So for those who are listening and might be struggling with some of the stuff that those differences, what were some of the things that you had to do to kind of get everyone together?
Well, first off, I had to gain their trust. The person that was here before me was not a very nice person. Flat out, will say that. And they didn't really mesh well with. She didn't mesh well with the other public safety folks. So when I come in, they thought that I was just going to be another person like that, because that's what they've been used to for several years. Well, and then I had to prove myself, and there was several calls that were made to my former, some of my former coworkers, that they didn't quite understand what I was trying to do, and wasn't sure to trust me. And when somebody new comes into the job that's trying to run things, there's always that lack of trust, and don't know exactly what their thoughts are. So there were a couple of those calls to former coworkers of mine. It's like, hey, what's going on? And pretty much it's like, if Rob is saying that this is what he would like to do, or this is what you probably need to do, you probably need to listen to him, because he's not going to screw you over. He knows what he's doing. So this is what it is. So it took a couple months to get that down. But now, I won't say I'm very well respected or anything like that, because I'm not patting myself on the back, but the folks know that I know what I'm doing, and they, I'm here to make our citizens have the best of available 911 service, and even public safety, because we're trying to make sure that everybody in public safety, and keep ourselves from basically getting sued, and staying out of the limelight for the liability reasons. So it's working. There's still a lot to do. We've got a lot more stuff that we want to work on, but it's going. It's fun. I'm having a good time.
That's good, man. It's good to hear that. It's like that fire. You've got that.
Yeah,
It's good.
After what happened, before, I'd lost that fire. That fire had gone away, and we had many discussions and late night talks, and I was like, don't know if this is what I want to keep doing. I just because at times working for the government sucks. It's quite honestly, you never know where you're standing like every 2 to 3, 4 years with
Hmm.
new people coming in, and do you want to do that or do I not? And I do. It's where I want to be. Government and working stuff like that is fun, but it can be very stressful at times.
Yeah. What were some of the stresses that that you were dealing with?
Basically, life in general, pretty much. I mean, there was had stuff going on in personal life and then the
Hmm.
work life, and you lose a job and you think that it's all your fault and you don't know how to react and how to pick yourself up. And it took me February the 28th was the day that I was let go, and it took me almost 4 months for being on unemployment and not having a job and feeling like I was well shit on the shoe of life. And so it was rough. But then I got the opportunity to come down here as the interim side to get things straightened out. And it made me feel good because I was like, wow, somebody does appreciate me, and I can go on and keep bringing it up. So
Was that the moment? Because I'm a firm believer that it's when, and I'm not saying this is you by any means, but me personally, I I feel like once we hit a rock bottom, then we start, finding out, finding out who we really are, and what we can withstand, endure, and then build up from there, whether it's a nice steady rise to the back to the top, or clawing. For myself, back when I hit my rock bottom, I was clawing
right,
on
right.
my way back, and I've been doing everything that I can, to continue doing what I love to do. And so once I hit that rock bottom for myself, um, I was able to claw my way back up to a point where I got things going, things that I really wanted to do. So for you, um, was it during those 4 months that you're talking about, all the stuff that you went through, um, was that your moment then, when they call, when you got that phone call, you're like, all right, because you were saying you weren't really
Yeah,
sure whether you wanted to continue in public safety or not, but
right.
I know you, and I know
Yeah,
that you would have found your way back somehow, because you
yeah,
love this shit.
yeah. I would say that was probably. I won't say that was my rock bottom at that time, but it was pretty
Hmm.
fucking low. I mean, it
Yeah.
was. That day I was. I'm not gonna lie. There was many during those 4 months. There was many bad, super dark spots in my life. I mean, super dark,
Hmm.
to where I had to, you know, put away firearms and stuff like that. It was pretty rough. Luckily, some of my friends within the industry that we have mutual friends that I
Hmm.
was able to talk to and walk me out of that and help me, and some of my best friends helped me out of that. But that was when I started working back up, and there was still ups and downs from that time. And they said, yeah, we want you to come down here, but there was still some dark times just going on personally. But
Right.
professionally, I'd say that was where I started climbing back up. And then we were going good, and then COVID hit, and just
Man.
threw COVID hit and threw everything out. And
Hmm.
it's like conference after conference after conference canceled. And I know that all of us in the 911 industry are like, oh shit, it's like I just want that. And even though things are getting back to normal,
Hmm.
it's not going to be normal until we can see each other at go to a conference. And that sounds so cheesy, but it's being able to go. And we've all got friends all over the United States, and we've
Hmm.
not seen those people since. Most of them we've probably not seen since the last national conference where was either APCO or NINA. And it's like, shit, that's all we want to do is just go back just to say hi. Or because a text message or a phone call or an email just isn't the same. It's just shoot cutting up after the conference, sitting at the bar, and even you're drinking or you're not drinking, you're just sitting there and talking to somebody. That helps us get through a lot of this stuff.
For sure, man. Like, bring it in for the real thing. I just want a hug.
Right. Exactly. And that's what it is. Just,
Oh man.
it's like, oh, whose birthday is it? Oh, thanks. Happy birthday. I miss you. And it's like, no, really, it's like how many times people say, I was like, I miss you. I really don't miss you, but there's those, there's those folks that, that you talk to on a daily basis, that you want to talk to on a daily basis, that you generally miss, and you just want 5 minutes of their time just to say, hey, what's up, just to see you in person, because it's just not the same.
Yeah, man. It's been pretty crazy. I've luckily had the chance this past couple of months, because I'm doing some work with the Denise Amberly Foundation,
Right.
that I've been able to go over there and see them and kind of hang out and stuff while we're working, and then of course come back. But so that has been good. But like family, my dad, I think I've seen him once.
Right.
Like the weirdest thing, because my brother ended up testing positive for COVID during a Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was a little bit before, like I think it was the day after Thanksgiving that they were like, you're good to go out back into the public, because he had it for those,
Right.
that time already. But my mom and my sisters were here and stuff, and he's like, well, I'll wait a couple more days. So the craziest thing was to have us all sitting at the table, right? And then in the corner having my iPad there, and then having my dad and my brother on video chat, on FaceTime. And
Right.
it was just, dude, it was the weirdest thing. Like, I love the fact that they were still able to be there, that technology allowed us to still be together, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. No, both my parents tested positive just before Christmas. So we don't do anything at Christmas anyway, but it was the same way. It's like, it's just not the same. And now since March, it has not stopped me from traveling. I mean, I've flat out, I've been over my birthday, which is the Thanksgiving weekend. It was in Nashville, and did the whole Nashville thing. And I've traveled basically every weekend, licked toilet seats, and truck stops and all that stuff. And luckily, knock on wood, I didn't test positive, and it probably had it. I mean, I would have had to have, I'm sure, because I've not stopped. I can't stay home. But when it first started, I was like, Menards was my best friend, because the only store that was open was Menards, or the grocery store. So
Everybody was going to
yeah,
Menards.
I was like, hey, here's your mask. Okay, let's go to Menards. I was like, spent so much damn money, and then they had 11% off for every time. It's like, wasted or used all my money for my rebates I got back at Menards. So
I think that, excuse me, I think that a few of the times that I went there early on, there were tons of people there, and people that seemed like they were just walking around, because they just wanted to get out.
What are you doing? Just looking. Home repairs. Like, just looking. I know down here we don't have a Menards, we have a Lowe's. And one of the people that I know that said that they had, like, a couple weeks, maybe a month or so into the pandemic, maybe May, that for like 5 or 6 weeks in a row, Lowe's had done more money down here than they usually did on their Black Fridays. I mean, just in that time, it's like $1 million days every day that they were coming in, or $1 million weeks. It's like, what the it's like,
wow.
Yeah, it's like, it's not hurting the home improvement projects. They're still
Nope.
going on. It's basically all you can do.
Well, so let's talk about that a little bit. So let's talk about the impact of COVID. There's
fucking COVID, man.
I know. Yeah, we'll touch on that a little bit here. Because I've seen it in a bunch of different places. How has COVID impacted your center?
So I will tell you, I was every day, man. I was like, okay, this is going to hit us. This is going to hit us. This is going to hit us. We're cleaning. We're doing everything that we can. I'm trying to order wipes and cleaning supplies like there's no tomorrow, and every place is sold out. You can't get them. It's like, oh. So I tried to get anything I can. When it first started, first part of the pandemic, we didn't have anything, man. It was like normal. But then freaking November the 16th, it's like out of nowhere, actually November the 11th, I'm sorry, out of nowhere, boom, COVID hits dispatch. And in the between November the 11th and December the 16th, I had 8 people go out with COVID in that 4-week time.
Oh, dude.
I have 12 people. So I'm like, what in the hell? So it was crazy shit, man. Just like, and they were going left, boom, going down left and right. They're like, they get a little call for this and they go get the test real quick to get the rapid test. And it's like, okay, here we go. And they're out and they're out and they're out. So we work on 12-hour shifts, three 12-hour shifts. So we had to do an emergency. Okay, we're going to 12 hours. We do 8-hour shifts. If I said that, 3 8s. We had to emergency go into 12-hour shifts. So they worked 12-hour shifts for that month, and just to make sure that we were glad. So luckily people were coming, so people would come back, and then another person would go out and people would come back. So knock on wood, there's been, and I've got one actually that's out right now on COVID. So I've got two people that have tested negative, or that haven't had it so far. And one of the new guys he's not had it. He's only been here a couple weeks. So
he's probably like, shit.
He's like, oh yeah. I was like, what the hell? I don't want to come into this place. It's like COVID ridden. So
I know. It's like Ronaville.
Yeah, no shit. But luckily the our maintenance department has the misters and the COVID mister, those sprayers that they bring over every other day, and we wipe it all down. But still,
well, how many people do you have working at a time?
Usually 3. So
yeah. Wait, okay, hold on a minute. If you have 12 people, what is your staff capacity?
They work 5 and 2 and 5 and 3. So like right now I've only got 2 people. But our minimum is 2.
Your minimum is 2.
Minimum is 2. So yeah, we were running, and then when we did the 12-hour shifts, we were we had people filling in, and
but when you're at full staff, how many people?
12.
Oh, you're full staff at 12.
Yeah,
so you're not short staff at all.
No. I'm full staff at 12. Right. Yeah.
Holy hell. Okay.
Yeah. I'm full staffed at 12, and I got 3 part-time people.
Damn.
Yeah, it's quite different from my.
So wait a minute. How does that work then? If you have a minimum of 2, I mean, they're probably making some good money, right? Overtime wise.
Yeah. To tell you the truth, I don't know how it worked. We did it one day. We had to have a person come in from out of town that used to be a dispatcher here. She's a director in another county and a neighboring state. So she came in to help us out one day, and luckily there's not a whole lot that goes on. And it's like, but it's kind of like we just put a Turk plan into place. Basically, it's like I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's like we'll figure it out. People are stepping up, and they were, I was like, well, I don't want to leave somebody out or do this, but it's dispatchers are resilient. They come into it, and they might not like somebody, but they come in and they work for them and do all that stuff. Luckily, people were going out and people were coming back, and they, a couple of people didn't have it bad, and they were, were fever free for the days, so they were able to come back when they could. So, but I'd never been so stressed as I was that day. I mean, there was times on the way home that I was just like, what in the hell am I going to do? And, talk to some people like, Rob, it's not your fault. I know it's not my fault, but you just feel this is my domain. This is my area.
Yeah, it's your ship.
I feel like it's bad, and how do I do this? How do I keep it going? But there's nothing we could have done. I mean, we were cleaning, we're doing it. It wasn't from, it was from community spread is what it was. So
damn. And so I can only imagine that the amount of stress that you had, like you're talking about, for those who are watching and listening, that's why all the hair from the top of his head is down on his chin.
Yeah, it's all from here down to here.
It went the other way.
Yeah.
I've missed you, man.
I know, man. It's been too long. But yeah, no, it was probably the most stressful time that I'd done, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, and my staff knew that I was stressed the fuck out, and they're like, "Dude, it's okay. We'll figure it out." It's like, I know that, but
For real, yeah, it's your ship. You definitely. If I were in your shoes, like I know exactly what you're saying, like, because I wasn't a director over where I was at, but I was a supervisor,
Right.
and when shit was going crazy, I'm stressed out, and people would say the same thing, like, dude, it'll be fine. Like, I know, but this is my watch right now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm not sitting in that seat, but everything else in here is mine. I got to make sure that equipment works, and I've got people answering the calls, and everything's going through, and it's crazy. I'm working on my year-end reports now, and I definitely last year was quite a few less calls than what we'd had in the past, so it's quite different. So it's definitely less calls, and that's a good thing. That was definitely a good thing.
What are some of the types of calls that your people have been receiving? There's a lot of different, so the open mic stuff that I do Thursday, some people mention some of the stuff that they've been getting that are like on the funny or odd side, but because that stuff is always going to happen. But with some of the stuff that's been going on, I don't know. I feel like, and I think also from what I've seen, domestic violence has gone up.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, people are at home more with each other, and there's been a lot of domestic violence calls that have gone up. But for you, for your center, what are some of the different types of calls that you've seen that are coming in during these COVID times?
We've had the domestics, of course. For law enforcement, of course, they're still in traffic stops.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main one. Domestics was number 2 by and then just motor vehicle accidents. So the same type of stuff. Now on the fire side, a lot of just and fire and EMS side, a lot of sick person calls. Mm-hmm. That was immediately as soon as they started having the COVID. I hate people saying that. The COVID. As soon as the Rona, as soon as it coming out, we immediately put into our pre-questions, our dispatch questions. Have you traveled? Have you had fever? Have you lost your sense of taste and smell? And we still ask that, but we immediately started going that. And as the dispatch if they're had a positive pre-screen, or if they've tested positive. We're still getting those, but a lot of them sick person calls, and mm-hmm. just. That's our main things right now.
Do you think that some of the implementations of the new technology and stuff that you've assisted with has also assisted this whole Rona situation where with newer technology there might not be as much contact because for example with the the texting program that you all use there, a lot of places they're doing the text from 911, mm-hmm. and that saves on dispatches. So
right, yeah.
Do you feel like some of that has helped during this time too?
I really think so. As I look through the stats and the numbers, I think that the technology that additional technology, whether it be texting and rapid SOS, and the smart 901, I think that really helps a lot because we get that additional data that we can, pass on to the first responders, and they can determine what they need to do. So it helps mm-hmm. everybody.
Yeah. I had to ask because it just hit my brain at that moment. Cause I thought, man, that has got to cut down on a lot of the, person to person contact where, people won't be in a situation like that where they might end up getting COVID or something like that, because there's a lot of those dispatches that end up getting saved and they don't go out there.
And we push a lot of it to where, for certain calls, the fire is not going to respond with EMS on a lot of calls because they don't need to, and just to keep that person to person contact out. So it helped a lot as well.
Do you do any of those? I don't know if you do this or not. I know some dispatch centers do, but some of the non-emergency calls, some people have online a way for them to, put the information in there and it ends up getting sent somewhere else.
No,
and then an officer calls or something like that instead.
No, we don't do that.
Mhm.
Everything, it comes into here, we dispatch it out. So we don't have anything yet. I would say probably in the next several, that's probably something on our radar, but I got too much other shit to do right now. So that's something else. Something else I've got to work on. So I'm
Well, with
trying.
the technology upgrades and everything, what is some of the technology that's out or on the horizon that you're kind of excited for?
Everything. You know me. If for as long as we've known each other,
Yeah.
I'm a huge tech freak. I love anything that can make these guys' jobs easier. Probably the next thing that we're gonna start looking at is station alerting,
Hmm.
the dispatch Debbie, or whatever the locutions, or all those in the world. My former agency, I just started working on that when I was leaving, or left, or they kicked my ass to the curb, went a different direction. Um, so that's something that I'm really working on right now. Getting
What is that exactly for
oh
those who are listening and watching
station
who might not know?
yeah, station alerting is the call comes in, the dispatcher's loaded into the CAD, they hit apply or save or however they do it, and then that automatically goes out to the fire departments, the EMS, and says, whatever the station is, respond to the address, call, and it's all a computer voice. It takes uh, takes that job. I won't say takes a job away from the dispatcher, but it has a constant tone, a constant voice, and so it's just all about, it goes through the stations and it ramps up their lights and can open their garage doors and all that stuff. But it's just a way to let the stations know that, hey, this is what's coming out, and it's just a computerized voice. It doesn't sound computer. It's a female that records it, but it's just the same tone all the time, so you don't have somebody getting real excited on the fire, and it's a lot clearer and the same tone every time.
Hmm.
So we're working toward we'll be working toward that. Our currently I'm working with a lot of the fire departments to get their recommendations for the apparatus that they want on each call type, to get that done, so we can start working with other things.
Isn't that
That's a huge task itself.
isn't that interesting to think about how the tone of voice, how
Oh,
one's tone can really affect
it is,
how people react?
and for the way you've done this for years, that, and I've heard your dispatches before too, when we've had the funny calls and some of the stuff that you've played, when you get a hot call, no matter how seasoned your dispatcher is, you can tell when the shit's hitting the fan. You can
Yep.
tell when it's something major, because you start talking faster, you talk higher, you get, it's a whole different tone that you have when you're dispatching something major. But when you take that personal aspect out of it, and it's just everything's recorded for what it is, then it calms the officer, it calms the fire department down too, because they know that it's like, okay, we can calm down a little bit, because everybody gets worked up when they hear Joe Schmeckatelli's voice running at 130,000 decibels, and it's like, oh my god, we got a fire, and it's like, what was that, what did you say, Central? I can't quite hear that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I remember putting out like BOLs and stuff, and a few that were, let's just say, for someone who left from the house who was suicidal, and we're putting it out there, and say Elegant Central for East Side units, make sure to and whatever, and go on.
yeah.
And then after I was done, I would think, all right, I said that pretty fast.
Yeah, did they really hear what I said? And they just go in the address, and it's like, or it's like, did I leave something out? I don't remember how.
Yeah,
that was.
there would be. I remember a few times where I said stuff pretty fast, and it was in the beginning, as I got into it more, I learned to calm that down no matter what it was. I just looked over and I saw your head floating. That freaked me out. For those watching and listening right now, he ended up switching that back on for the green screen. That freaked me out. That was funny.
Oh, look!
Oh, there you go. Look at that. You can see.
That's the whole.
Yeah, that's everything right there.
Oh, look!
There's
There's a piano.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
Oh man, but yeah, the tone of one's voice is definitely important there, and
Right.
so that's pretty cool, man. I didn't know that they had something like that coming out. And then
Oh yeah.
you've got your photo and video, which a lot of places have already. It's stuff that people have been talking about forever, and there are places that have it. There's monitoring of different cameras,
Right.
and
It's a lot of
it's just so
that's
much.
something we'll be working on this year too, is getting access to school cameras. I've said I will not monitor the school camera all the time, because that's just liability that something happens in there and they're gonna like, well, how come dispatch didn't see this? It's like, no, we're not doing that. We'll have access to it that we can if something happens, we can direct people that way by having the camera, but we will not monitor that all the time. It's just not our responsibility. We've got enough stuff to do that I won't monitor a camera all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just like, and I mentioned this during, let's see, it might have been the last round 15 of the dispatchers roundtables when I mentioned it, but I remember always being told to make sure to hang up the phone once they have the call and it's been handed off, to make sure to get off the line. Because if you're listening and let's just say somebody is doing CPR or something, and they might have said something like, I don't know, out of order,
right, and
you're listening and that, and you don't say something, that could be a liability. Now, the center that I worked at, and some people that I know, that was over there at that place. I don't know that that's the same for everywhere. So just so that people are listening and you're not like, oh shit, for real? It's possible.
Right.
So they always told us just to, once the handoff is clean and it's done, and they have everything they need to have, just get off the line.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it would be like handing off, a domestic call that was on a different jurisdiction,
right?
And you're still listening to everything else that's going on. I mean, you're probably going to get subpoenaed for that too.
Exactly.
That's you were listening. Right. You were still there.
You're going to get pulled in. Why? You didn't have anything to do with it, but you were still listening. What did you hear after you? Well, you're not.
Yeah. Why did you stay in the line?
Yeah, exactly. I was nosy. I wanted to know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So many different factors and everything that's there. Now, we're getting close to wrapping this up here, but I wanted to show something really quick. Now, when this is aired, this has already gone up. So this is from the week prior. But for Open Mic Live now,
which, by the way, you have those open mics in your dispatcher roundtable. This old fuck, I go to bed too early. I'd love to get on those, but I go to bed too early, man. It's like,
I was wondering why I've never seen you on there.
Because like I'm at 8:00, I'm in bed every night. It's like I drive an hour and a half down here every day, so I go to bed early, and it's like, but I do appreciate you doing that, and I like how you do those, and I know everybody appreciates it. But man, I'm just too old.
It's been a lot of fun, man. I started doing Open Mic Live on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube when COVID first started.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just saw on social media a lot of people being like, oh man, this sucks. And of course it does suck, but there was just so much, gloom and doom and stuff. I remember it was, I think I did it on a Sunday night or Monday night at 11 o'clock. Yeah. I just, on a whim, just did it out of nowhere. And it was so much fun. And for those who are watching and listening, Rob actually was the first one to do open mic with me when I started doing Imagine Listening at the Indiana Nina Apco conference. And we were doing Imagine Listening, and then we did open mic, and I think that was 2015.
I don't know. It was a long time ago, but it was so fun. We had so much fun, and we did those at several other conferences that we were both at throughout the for the next several years. And actually not being able to be involved in those, doing those, it kind of is like, oh my god. But like I said, this fat guy's got to get his sleep. I got to get my beauty sleep in, man. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, for the month of February, I'm doing this trial where I'm doing them at 9 at night now.
I'll try.
So, you're like, I don't know, it's still late.
I'm still late. Yeah,
I told you it was 8 o'clock, dude, not 9.
I just got a new puppy, so I do stay up a little bit later now. So, but I might be able to do that, but we'll see.
Well, there you go. So for those who are watching and listening, I'm going to share this image right now. What I started doing for open mic, it's going to be a weekly thing. People are also submitting funny pictures, because I used to do this where I would post up a picture that was funny or odd or whatever, and I would say dispatch this, or BOL this, be on the lookout for this. So basically just like a funny dispatch that would go with it, and people would laugh and share it and everything else. But for this, I'm having people share it so that we can I can read everyone's dispatches or BOLs live while I'm doing this. So here's the picture.
So he showed me this before we started recording, and there's a lot of stuff on here that I noticed, but the first thing that I asked him, I was like, is it not look like that guy has hooves? The person on the back of the car, it looks like to me he has hooves, because it looks like a horse hoof, because he's got like ankle socks on and some with his toes out. But then you've also got there's a freaking white flag on his left foot.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
You didn't see? Okay, so look,
and it looks like little pom poms,
like little pom poms. Like, so did he like, fuck it, I give up, I surrender? I mean, that's what the white flag is. And just how much duct tape did they have to use for that? I mean,
right. That is amazing. So for those who are listening right now, the picture is of a white minivan, and there's a guy who's been completely duct taped to the back of the van. He's smiling. He's got some aviators on, it looks like, and an awesome like Cousin Eddie hat.
Yeah. So I think my dispatch would be, attention all units, attempt to locate a white van, no taillights, with a little bit of duct tape on the back of it. And I think that's all I would do.
You wouldn't mention the guy?
I don't think I'd mention the guy. I don't think I'd mention the guy, because that's irrelevant this time. No taillights, duct tape on the back, and a white flag. I think that's what I would say. I wouldn't say anything about the guy, and I would just let them say, Central, did you know that there was a man on this? Oh, no, I didn't have that.
Can you imagine being the officers rolling up in back of it, and the dude's just like, hi.
Yeah, exactly, because he's got one hand that's free, so he'd just like, he'd roll up there, and he'd have to move his head down a little bit and like salute. It's like, what's up? And he'd get him. It's like, you okay? Yeah, I'm good. He'd probably just throw him a thumbs up or something like that. So.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Well, it is.
Thank you so much, man, for being on. This has been awesome. We need to do another one, Brickman.
I know it. I'm gonna have to get some different things. When we do this, I'm gonna have to. So what I need to do is I need to get a green screen for my office.
There you go.
And then just do the whole thing. So then I would have it all and wear the same shirt. So then it would just be my hands and my head, and that's all you would see.
That would be
kind of like when somebody wears camouflage, because you can't see them. Dude, it's been an honor. These are always so much fun.
So much fun. I'll be right back with you, dude.
All right.
For those who are watching and listening, if you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That is @91podcast. You can like us on wait a minute, on Facebook. I think I said that twice. So there's Facebook and there's Twitter. Twitter's @91podcast. Facebook is Within the Trenches Podcast. Yes, there you go. Find it there. And this has been sponsored by In Digital as well as Rapid Deploy. And this show will always be free, but if you are looking for any bonus content, you can check us out. And that's going to be patreon.com/WTT podcast. This can be heard 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. And then you can watch this on Facebook and YouTube. Have a good one, and I will talk to you all soon.